Painting more interesting skin tones is something that I have always wanted to do with my art. Check out the amount of different colors that we have in this very simple portrait from John Singer Sargent. I still have a long way to go, but I think that I have found 3 principles that will help me to add this color variation to my next paintings and hopefully to you too. Number 1, and probably this is one of the most important, not only for color but just art in general, and that is respect your values. Now this is something extremely important, but it is very clear when you go to an old master like Sargent here and you switch their paintings to black and white. Check out what happened with all the pink that we had here on the cheek, or maybe all the greens that we had around the mouth. They're completely gone. And that is because Sargent is a master of something that we should always try to do on our own paintings. And that is that it doesn't matter how crazy we get with our colors, our values should be the structure that holds our painting together. Because even if we come and switch, let's say this brown right here, and we put hints of a very saturated magenta, and maybe even some hints of blue up here. When we get far away, it doesn't matter that those weird colors are there, because the values are still holding everything together. I changed the color, but not the values, so I haven't broken the rules. Number 2 is color zones. Now I think that this is something especially useful if you want to add colors but you don't know exactly where to put those colors. Well, this is something that might be useful for that. Especially on the face, people tend to divide it into 3 different color sections. They use reds for the middle of the face, greens for the lower third, and yellows for the upper third. As for the rest of the body, I find that places like the elbows and the fingers, also shoulders and knees, tend to lean also a little bit more towards red. So if you're wondering what colors to put where, I would use that as a guideline. Now, if you notice, we talked on the first point about values, on the second one about color zones, which is hue. So we are missing the third property of color, which is saturation. And this one is very interesting. When I sampled the artwork of old masters, most of their artwork is usually pretty desaturated. You can see that I am sampling here, and this color picker doesn't go to this right section where the most saturated or pure colors are. Now that changes when we approach the shadows. You can see it here again on the arm. We have desaturated, and suddenly once we hit the shadow, boom, it's all the way to the right side with saturation. So that one is pretty useful. It tells me that if I want my paintings to look vibrant and colorful, I don't have to make the whole thing saturated. I can actually spend most of my painting in this top left corner of the chromatic circle and reserve this lower right for my punchy shadows.